In this video, we're going to talk all about how to raise your rates. All right, so let's talk about how to raise your rates. So first, let's talk about when. So you want to make sure that you are raising your rates throughout your whole year for new people. So when you're at about 60% full, that's when you want to start raising your rates. You don't want to wait until you're 80, 90% full, you're burned out, you have a wait list. Those are all terrible times to raise your rates. You want to start raising your rates before you're feeling all of those things. And so when you get to that point that you're saying, I think I'm going to want to see fewer clients soon, that's when you want to start to raise your rates. Next, when you're ready to raise your rates, tell your virtual assistant right away. That second, text them, I'm raising my rates. For example, if you're at 150 per session and maybe your intakes are 175, I want you to text them right away and say my new intake is 200 and my sessions are 185. Do a big jump so that you feel the emotional impact of people saying yes to that. And so take that action right away. But it's really important that your virtual assistant has all the places that you list your rates. It's super embarrassing to raise your rates only to have someone go to Psychology Today or to your website and see that they're half the price. You don't want to have that happen. So make sure that they have access to all the places so they can go update it. It's a terrible use of your time to dig through the website or dig through Psychology Today. Use something like LastPass so you can share your passwords securely with them and they can get in there and make those changes. So make sure you do it right away. Don't think about it. Just say, I'm feeling like I want to see fewer clients soon, and then make sure you do it. Another thing to consider is maybe there's a time of year you just want to see fewer clients. So maybe summertime, your kids are home, you want to see fewer clients. If you would say no to people anyway, that's the perfect time to raise your rates for new people. To just say, this rate is $250 per session. Which you may hear that and say, that is mind-blowing. But I see people every single day in our mastermind groups and my one-on-one consulting that keep raising their rates, and they keep being able to do it because they have the expertise, the outcomes, and the growing confidence. They may not be there, but they're growing in their confidence. And so we want to do these experiments. Next, you can always change it back. So if it's a 2-week experiment where you're going to raise your rates and see if everybody says no, okay, 2 weeks of people said no. You can always have your virtual assistant say, you know what, there's one sliding fee spot at his original 150 per session. You can always do that. All right, so after you do that, so throughout the year, you're raising the rates. So maybe in March, you go from 120 to 150, and then in September, you go up to 175, and then towards the end of the year, you're at 195. Now, you may still have clients that are at that 100 or that 120. They went into the year, at that rate. It's unfair to them to raise their rates at each time. I want you to keep them consistent throughout the year. But in October, that's when you send an email. The email that you send, it might have a year-end summary, or it might say something like open enrollment. When you send this email, what you want to say is, Dear John, no, that's cheesy. Dear Skylar, it's been great working with you in therapy. I feel like we've made tremendous progress. I wanted to let you know about a few adjustments in the price in the coming year. This is due to raises in rent, overall expenses, and my expertise growing. Current clients are paying $195 per session right now. You came in at $120 and it doesn't seem fair to jump all the way to that. But on January 1st, I'd like to adjust your rate to $150 per session. Now, I went into counseling to help people and to help you have awesome outcomes. So if this is going to be a problem for your therapy, we can talk through if we want to change the frequency of therapy, wrap things up by January 1st, or have a discussion about that rate. I want to make sure I continue to help you. Every time I've sent this email, I've never received pushback. Now, I know sometimes people do. You have that conversation with people, and then you raise their rates on the first of the year. Every single year, you want to be raising your rates. And if you're not, then you're making less money every year because of inflation and your costs going up and your professionalism is going up, but you're not charging for it. So that's how you do it. Also, when you're adding clinicians, you want to raise their rates as well. So make sure that they're coming up with you. It looks super weird if you're $225 a session and they're $75. So make sure that they're up within about $50 of where you're at. If they're established, maybe $75 per session, lower than you if they are brand new. So if you want more private practice tips, if you're a coach, if you're a counselor, massage therapist, chiropractor, our YouTube channel has a ton of tips on how to network, brand, market, all those things it takes to run a private practice. Also, I have a podcast called the Practice Podcast. Would love for you to subscribe to that too. I'm sure we have some buttons all over the place for those sorts of things. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, comment below, give it a thumbs up, ask questions, push back. If you disagree with me, I would love to hear that as well. Put that in the comments below. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon.